Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Jude by Daphne Loveling, narrated by Duran and Jillian Macie. Chapter 1. Jude. How long since it happened? 2 years, I answer, holding out my forearm to show the burn scars to Chance. He squints, taking a moment to scrutinize the skin. Yeah, the scarring is pretty extensive, so it might hurt more than your other ink did. But Stacia will fix you right up. She's just finishing up with another customer, so have a seat and she'll be out to get you. Chance says a couple of words to the receptionist, then disappears down the hallway. I take a seat on one of the low leather couches in the small waiting area of Rebel Ink, the tattoo shop where the Lords get pretty much all our ink done. Chance is the owner, so the club knows him pretty well. Stacia, who used to be known as Six, is the old lady of Bullet, one of my club brothers. One of my club brothers. Damn, it feels like it'll never get old to say that. Even though I've had the Lords of Carnage tattoo on my left pec for long enough that I feel like I've always had it, my pride at being a Lord is just as fresh as it was the day I was patched in. The funny thing is, the reason I'm here today to get this tattoo and the reason I got patched into the MC are pretty closely connected. 2 years ago, I was nothing but a lowly prospect for the Lords of Carnage MC. Well, I say lowly, but that's not exactly the case. When you're the brother-in-law of the MC president, you're not exactly the scum of the earth prospect-wise. But that said, I never got special treatment from any of the Lords before I got patched. If anything, a lot of them were harder on me than they probably would have been otherwise. Hale especially. That motherfucker took sadistic pleasure in fucking with me from day one, that's for sure. And I guess I expected it. He and I didn't exactly hit it off on the right foot back in the day. By the time I became a prospect, we were pretty copacetic, but he still rode me harder than the other prospects. Hell, if I'm honest, I probably deserved it. I was a cocky shit. Still am, I guess. But the club taught me a lot. It taught me how to be a man, how to live by my word, how to live for something larger than myself. That's not a lesson my biological family ever taught me, that's for damn sure. Well, except for my sister, Jewel. She tried to teach me as best she could, but with parents like ours, she could only do so much. When she left home at 17, I was only 10. Left to my own defenses with a mother and father who barely tolerated each other and tolerated me even less, I felt abandoned by the only person who cared about me. I hated Jewel for years because of that. Or at least, that's what I told myself. Then, when I was 17 myself, I got in some pretty serious trouble, and our parents tossed me onto a bus to Tantor Springs to live with Jewel without a backward glance. I snort softly to myself. Getting rid of me, giving up on me, was probably the best damn thing they ever did for me, in the end. Coming to Tantor Springs was a bumpy damn landing. I made Jewel's life hell. I almost got into some even more serious shit that could have ended me up in prison for a long damn time. Somehow, Jewel didn't throw my ass out. And lucky for me, her job at the time was as a bartender for the local motorcycle club. And the rest, as they say, is history. I looked down at the burn scars running up and down my left arm. In a couple of ink sessions, the twisted, puckered skin will be transformed into a sheath of flames. Not because I want to forget, but because I want to remember the day I ran into a burning house to try to save someone's life. The house belonged to Ember, the woman who would become my club brother Stryker's old lady. The man trapped inside was her ex-husband. I failed to save him, but that's because he was already dead. It cost me some serious smoke inhalation, some second and third degree burns, and a couple surgeries to graft some skin from my inner thigh onto the most damaged burn sites. It sucked ass, to be honest. But what it gained me was the unanimous vote by the Lords of Carnage to patch me in as a full member of the club. Priceless. I leaned back into the worn leather of the couch, exhaling into the memory. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the young receptionist staring at me. She's hot in that weird emo chick way. Makeup that makes her seem like she's never seen the sun. Black hair with electric blue highlights in a severe bob with bangs cut straight across. Dark eye makeup, blood-red lipstick. Not my type, but that doesn't stop me from thinking about the lipstick ring she'd leave around my cock.
"Hey, Jude,"
Stacia greets me, breaking into my thoughts. She lets out a soft laugh and shakes her head, like practically everybody does when they greet me that way and then realize they've referenced the Beatles song.
"Come on back."
I hoist myself up off the couch. Emo chick is still staring at me through her hair. I turn and give her a wink. Her face flames red through the makeup.
"Don't torture the help, Jude,"
Stacia mutters at me. Snickering, I follow her to her room. Stacia is the one who did my Lord's tattoo, and a handful of others over the years, so I know my way back here. I flop onto the chair and wait as she reaches up and reties her tangle of blonde hair into a knot at the top of her head to keep it out of her eyes. She asks me some questions about the tattoo she's doing for me. We've already discussed it at the clubhouse a few times, so she shows me the designs she prepared for me, which look fucking awesome.
"This is gonna hurt, dude,"
she warns me.
"Scar tissue?"
"Yeah, I know," I interrupt her. "Chance told me. Trust me, it ain't gonna hurt nearly as much as the burns did."
"True,"
Stacia smiles.
"Okay, let's get you prepped. I figure I might be able to get about a third of it done today, maybe more, depending."
Not that I'd admit it, but Stacia and Chance are right. It ends up hurting like a motherfucker. But I learned some Zen shit from one of the nurses in the burn unit while I was recovering, so I'm pretty good at dealing with discomfort by now. Pain without suffering, she called it. Kari. That was the nurse's name. Told me that there's a Buddhist practice that teaches you about the 3 dimensions to pain: the physical, emotional, and cognitive. In other words, the pain, how we feel about it, and the meaning we give it. Kari taught me to meditate as a way to separate the pain from my reaction to it. She called it acknowledging the pain without giving it a meaning or an emotional reaction. Pain is inevitable, she said. Suffering is optional. Sounds like a lot of bullshit, I know, but the fucked up thing is, it works. Eventually, Stacia calls an end to the session after 5 hours. Not because of me, but because she's tiring out and doesn't want to start making mistakes. She bandages me up, goes through her aftercare spiel, and then takes me out to the receptionist.
"I'll see you at the clubhouse, probably,"
she says as she walks me out.
"But let me know if you have any problems before the next session."
"Will do." I nod toward my arm. "Looks great so far." Stacia is pleased.
"I think it's going to be gorgeous when we're done."
Back outside, I sling a leg over my bike and take out my cell to check my messages. There's nothing from any of the Lords, but I missed a call from my sister. There's also a text from her telling me to phone her ASAP. I punch in her contact and hit call. "Hey, Jewel, what's up?" I bark into the phone.
"Where are you?"
she hisses into the phone. "Rebel Inc.?
"You need to come to the house. Right now."
"What now?" Jewel hangs up before I can answer. Fuck. I don't know what's up her ass, but Jewel's about the most even-tempered person I know. Whatever it is that's got her in a damn tizzy, I guess I better go see what I can do to help. I fire up the bike, and within minutes I'm pulling into Angel and Jewel's driveway. The garage door is open, revealing the familiar clutter of Angel's workshop and TJ and Faith's bikes and other outdoor toys. Angel's bike is gone, so I guess whatever this is, Jewel's dealing with it on her own. I go to the front door, knock on it a couple times, then twist the knob. "Hello?" I call as I push the door open. I step through, almost tripping over a couple of suitcases that are sitting by the door. What the hell? Is Jewel leaving Angel or something? "Hello, Yuri." I freeze. It's like my body hopes that by not moving, I can prevent the next thing from happening. My stomach feels hollow. My mouth goes sour. Eventually, I drag my eyes toward the voice I've known my whole life. One of the only voices that ever calls me by my given name. And there, sitting on Jewel's living room couch, are 2 people I never expected to see again. Our parents.
Chapter 2. LILA. "Petcher?" I spit out, my stomach dropping to the ground. "You want me to deliver to Petcher?" Andre plants his feet, crosses his arms, gives me that mean, narrow-eyed stare that tells me the next step is him popping me across the mouth. Problem? No, I insist anyway. I won't do it. Like hell you won't, he hisses, jabbing a thick finger at me. You don't have a goddamn choice, Lila May. Don't call me that, I murmur, turning away. Only my mother called me that. No one else gets to use that name. Andre grabs me by the shoulder, spins me around. I'm agile and strong for my size, but he's big. I know from experience he can hurt me, especially when he takes me by surprise. Ever since that first time, right around the time my mom got sick, I know what her boyfriend is capable of, the damage he can do. Back then, after it was over, and I was nursing my cuts and bruises locked in the bathroom, I sniffed back my tears and my running nose and told myself I was lucky he didn't do worse to me. There was a glint in his eyes back then, a leering sexual glint that told me he wouldn't hesitate to do other things I didn't even want to think about. A glint that told me I'd be smart not to push him too far. I'm older now, bigger and stronger than I was then, but I still don't like my odds when Andre's got the mean in him. What am I taking him? I half whisper, swallowing back the angry, defeated tears that spring to my eyes. Andre huffs in satisfaction, then goes to a drawer, takes something out. It's about the size of a brick, wrapped in wrinkled paper bag. Here. He shoves it at me. You know what to do. Don't come back here right away after you make the drop-off. Wait for a while. Make sure you're in the clear first. Sure. Make sure that if anyone gets caught, it's me, not Andre. Like where? I challenge. Where am I supposed to go? His lips curl back over his teeth. What the hell do I care? Long as you're back by the morning. I'm numb as I take the brick from him and stuff it into my messenger bag, then slide the strap over my shoulder. I try like hell not to think too hard about what happened the last time Andre sent me on a delivery to Petcher. How he grabbed at me, groped me until one of his men interrupted us, and I was able to slip out. Dumbly, I scrape my keys off the table where I last threw them, then push past Andre, who's still barking instructions at me. Outside, I take a few steps on the crumbling front walk, then slow to a halt as I think I hear something. I turn around, and sure enough, a familiar low mew comes to me from the far end of the house. I catch a glimpse of a gray tail, and in spite of my low mood, I can't help but smile. Hey there, Spike, I croon, walking toward the sound. As soon as I've rounded the corner to the side of the house, I see him. A dirty gray and white cat, the stray that I've been feeding from a bag of dry food hidden in a corner of the garage. Spike lets out another chirrup and takes a step toward me. As soon as I kneel, he's there, doing a funny sort of dance where he has to evade my hand by a few inches a couple of times before he finally lets me pet him. There's a boy, I murmur, scruffing him behind one ear. He closes his eyes and leans into my hand, beginning to purr noisily. How are you doing? You're a good baby, aren't you? I check the aluminum pie tin I've been using as his food bowl and notice it's almost empty. I'll make sure to feed you as soon as I get back, I promise, I tell him, and give him one final scruff before I stand up, knees crackling. I turn, walk back around the front of the house, glancing back as I do, but fortunately Spike doesn't follow me. With the warm feel of his fur still on the tips of my fingers, I trudge over to the car and climb in, hoisting my messenger bag into the passenger seat. I sit there for a few moments, trying to collect myself before I go see Petcher. The car belongs to Andre, like pretty much everything else in my life, except the clothes on my back. It's a piece of shit. The smell of stale cigarettes permanently baked into the upholstery. I only ever get to use it when I'm doing a run for him, either to get him groceries or beer from his buddy's liquor store up the road, or a delivery like this one. Andre's been using me to do his dirty work for a couple years now. He started sending me on deliveries because I was young and innocent enough to fly under the radar. As I turn the key in the ignition, it occurs to me that since today is my 18th birthday, I'll be old enough to be tried as an adult if the cops catch me with whatever it is in this bag. Happy birthday to me, I murmur under my breath. I notice my voice is quaking. Petcher runs his operation, or at least what I see of it, hiding almost in plain sight. He's the silent owner of a small chain of Italian restaurants in the region. The main one is not far from the campus town of Ohio University in Athens. That's where I'm driving today, a trip that takes me a little over an hour and a half. When I get inside the restaurant, I tell the hostess, a hard-looking woman around 40 years old, that I have an appointment with him. She's seen me before, but she must not recognize me. She eyes me up and down, painted-on brows meeting in the center of her furrowed forehead. I'm here to give him a sample of some tiramisu, I add. Tiramisu. That's the magic code word. Her wrinkled face clears, and she picks up the phone and murmurs a few words into it. "Come with me," she barks when she hangs up, then turns and hustles away, not waiting to see if I'm following. The hostess leads me through a door and up a narrow stairwell to the second floor. There, she goes to another door, knocks once, and pushes it open. With a brusque gesture, she indicates I should go in. I step through into the middle of a large room with red-tinted bulbs. The door closes behind me. Swallowing, I brace my shoulders and approach the large seated figure behind an even larger desk. "Hello, kitten," he oozes. "Got that tiramisu for me?" Revolted, but relieved Petcher remembers me well enough to know who sent me and why, I step forward and open my messenger bag. For a split second, so rapidly I'm not even sure I see it, he tenses, then relaxes as I pull out the parcel wrapped in bag paper. He stands, quickly, almost greedily. The keen expression in his eyes startles me, making me wonder what it is I'm actually holding. He steps around the desk and comes toward me, heavy steps thumping on the carpeted floor. "Good kitten," he smirks and holds out his hand. "I'll take that now." Wordlessly, I hand it to him, then snatch my hand back as he examines it. I'm alone with him in here. Petcher is the kind of guy who usually has large, burly men flanking him. So the fact that I'm alone with him in here means he doesn't consider me any kind of threat. Still, I'm sure they're around here somewhere, lurking in the shadows. "You're a good little girl," Petcher murmurs, raising his hand to give my cheek a pat. His hand is clammy, greasy. It smells like the remains of a big Italian meal. I do my best to avoid shrinking back from his touch, to avoid provoking any reaction from him at all. He withdraws his hand, not without a last lingering caress of my cheek with one finger, and uses it to reach into the bag. He pulls whatever is inside out halfway, then nods. "Good, good." I don't react. Whatever I just gave him, I don't want to know. All I want is to get out of here as soon as possible. I continue to stand there, focusing on keeping my breathing as even as possible. I'm hoping Petcher won't give me anything to take back to Andre. Last time, I had to carry back an envelope of money, and Andre gave me a bloody nose and a fat lip after accusing me of skimming a couple bills off the top. I'm starting to get antsy, stealing the occasional glance at the door, when Petcher noisily clears his throat. Well, that takes care of the first part of our transaction. I'm sorry, I asked distractedly. His mouth widens into a leer. Your daddy sent me to you for a reason. He's not my father. The correction comes out in a rasp. Petcher chuckles. Oh, I know, kitten. I know. Something about the tone of his voice makes me shiver. How do you know? I shoot back, trying to sound brave. A daddy wouldn't send his daughter into this situation. He's sent me here before, I point out. Petcher chuckles again, louder this time, ending in a rasping cough. Not what I meant. Your daddy. He's not my father, I repeat loudly. Petcher roars with laughter. Your stepdaddy, then, let's say. Your stepdaddy owes me more than this. He holds it up, then saunters over to one side of the desk. Tossing the package onto it, he reaches under the ledge and does something I can't see. Call it some interest on a loan he took out. I don't understand. The words come out higher than I expect, betraying the fear that's starting to pulse through me. Petcher's eyes pierce into mine. One greasy corner of his mouth curls. You will, he tells me in a low, thick voice. My heart threatens to burst out of my chest. Petcher takes a step toward me, and I turn and bolt for the door. Grasping the handle with both hands, I twist and yank. But the slippery knob doesn't budge. I grab on harder, try again, but it's no good. The door is locked. A thump behind me tells me Petcher's moving closer. Spinning around so my back is to the door, I eye him wildly. Petcher! I croak, sounding like I'm strangling. Don't do this! Do what, kitten? He's sweating now as he moves closer. His lips are parted, glistening a little as though I'm a Thanksgiving dinner he can't wait to devour. My skin tightens with goose flesh. The idea that he might touch me again is intolerable. No, I cry out, flattening against the wall. But even as the word rips from my throat, I can tell it's no use from the unconcerned expression on Petcher's face. Either no one can hear me up here, or no one cares. This is his domain, after all. No one is going to come to my rescue. Petcher descends on me, towering over me with his large, panting frame, inches away from covering my body with his. I'm frantic, outweighed, and powerless, my mind thrashing against the inevitable. Then, in a flash of memory, comes a voice I haven't heard in almost 2 years. The words of the last person alive on this earth to really care about me. Play to your softness, Brooke says. Men think you're weak. Use it to your advantage to be strong, lethal, and unexpected. Petcher steps in close. I pretend to cower, bending down at the waist. And then, in a sharp, brusque move, I slam an elbow into his stomach. He doubles over with a roar of surprise. I have a second to clamber away from him. I stumble over his foot as I do, just enough that he's able to reach out and grab me blindly by the hair. I cry out as he yanks it and slams me back against the wall. Don't fucking try that again, he hisses as he grabs me by the throat. Petcher pushes his body against me, close enough now that I can smell his stinking breath. His hardness presses against my stomach. Instead of wrenching away, I let my legs go limp all at once. He's not ready for it, and instinctively grabs me as I fall to the ground. He's not fast enough, and when I get to the floor, I bend my head and drive the top of it hard into his crotch. Petcher bellows and kicks up a knee into my face. There's a crunch, and then a second of blinding pain. Keep striking. Don't let up. Ignoring the pain, I jump into a crouch, one foot slightly forward. Go for the vulnerable sites like face and eyes. Surprise him. Petcher is still doubled over, but trying hard to stand. I turn toward the locked door and realize with a sickening churn of my stomach that I'll never get out of here while he's conscious. My breathing speeds up. Surprise him. It's my only shot. I raise my hands to my face, covering my broken nose, and start to keen. He's only a few feet away from me now. I tense my muscles, get ready for him. He staggers upright, face still contorted in pain, and lunges for me. As he does, I drop down, falling to one knee, and reach for the shoelaces of my left boot and the card-shaped holder lashed into them that conceals a tiny K-bar tactical knife. I pull it out and slash into the air in a single motion. Just as his face nears mine, the knife sinks into his neck. My vision and hearing tunnel as Petcher lets out a gurgle above me. Without letting myself stop to think, I grab the arm that's holding the knife with my other hand and drag it across his neck with all my force. Blood begins to spurt, spattering my neck and shirt. I stifle a scream and keep going until the knife gets stuck in the cartilage of his throat. Petcher's body falls on top of me. I let out a strangled moan, yanking away the knife, and push him off. Frantically, I crab walk backwards in horror until my head thumps against the far wall. The sounds coming from Petcher's throat are like nothing I've ever heard before. I half expect him to get up and come after me again. But he doesn't. Instead, he lies there on his back, hands gripped around his neck as though he could stop the bleeding. At some point, I've started crying. Adrenaline spikes in my veins, and I haul myself up until I'm standing. The blood on me was warm, but it's already cooling, and I start to shiver almost uncontrollably. I rush to the door, letting out a loud sob when I pull in desperation and it's still locked. I turn, wild-eyed, and force myself to think. Is there a key? There must be a key. If so, where? I stare down in horror at Petcher, who is still moving, but not much, shuddering at the thought of getting close enough to him to go through his pockets. But then a thought stops me. There's no keyhole on this side. And why would someone from the outside have locked him in? And then it clicks. Petcher, reaching under the ledge of the desk. I know what he was doing now. I half stumble to it, reach underneath where I saw him do so earlier. In a second, I find it, a switch. When I press it, a soft metallic click comes from the direction of the door. I go to it, turn the knob. It turns, and I almost collapse with relief. Hands shaking, I open the door. Without looking back, I run down the stairs and out of the restaurant.
Chapter 3. Jude. What the fuck are they doing here? I growl at Jewel, jerking a thumb toward the couch. From the floor where 5-year-old TJ and 3-year-old Faith are playing, I hear a gasp.
You said a swear, Uncle Jude,
Faith announces with a fascinated half-smile. Shit. I know Jewel tries to limit cussing around the kids. I kind of look at her and raise my eyebrows. Sorry.
TJ and Faith, I need you to go play in your rooms for now,
she says smoothly.
But be quiet so you don't wake up the babies. I'll come get you in a little while.
The babies, Matthew and Matilda, or Maddie and Tilly, are Jewel and Angel's 6-month-old twins. They must be asleep in their nursery.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?